No problem. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Antoinette, and I work for Cubigo, which is being used in the human good communities as a resident engagement platform. And so the purpose really is to facilitate information sharing and communication in the communities, and to facilitate your access to different services. So I will be sharing my screen so that you are able to see everything that I do while I walk you through the platform. And it should take about 45 minutes, and then it will open up to questions. I won't actually be going through everything in the platform today because that would take too long. So this really is the initial element, the basics, and then in the next session next week, we'll go through the rest of the platform that we don't go through today. So welcome to Las Ventanas Connect. So this is the homepage that you see once you log in. So you should have received, or you should have received an invitation email to log in that allows you to set a password. And if you didn't receive that, you can talk to Sandy and she will be able to give you your login information so that you can connect to the platform initially. And so this is what you see when you first log in. So this is the home page that you can always come back to by clicking on home. And it always takes you back to this home page. And so what do you have on the home page? The lovely community photo. And then underneath that, you have your personal schedule. So this would be any activities that you personally sign up to in the community. So anything that's being organized by the Lifestyles team, as well as any birthdays that are happening in the community. You'll also be informed when the mail has arrived, and then any additional services that you sign up for. So if you make a table reservation, or if you have a transportation ride in the future, or if you have a maintenance request, all of those would appear on your personal schedule as well. And then underneath, you have the cubes that give you access to different services or different information in the community. And we'll actually be only doing the first line of cubes today, and the second line, which is more about actually making a request and sending information into the team, that will be in the next session next week. And so each cube really does give you access to different information or different services in the community. And then at the top of the computer, you do have access to a colored bar, the gray bar, where there is the home button, which will always take you back to this home page that you will grow to know and love, as well as the news feed, which is where team members will be sharing updates and information, and anything from sort of welcoming new residents to the community, to advertising or sort of informing you of an upcoming event, to if there's going to be if there's a COVID update in the community. All of those things will be things that they will be sharing in the news feed. And then you have a chat, which allows you to communicate with other residents in the community. And then notifications, where you get updates about anything that you've submitted, and then you can access your own profile. And so that's just an overview, and I'll now be going through certain elements of the platform. So first things first, the information cube. This is where you can find general information about the community. So for example, you do have the tidbits that are available currently. And so you can, for any attachment that the team members are sharing, you can always click on them and they will appear. And when they appear, you can just read them directly on your device. So I could choose to read it all on my tablet or on my computer. And you can also download it. On the right-hand side, there's a blue button to download it if you want to keep a copy on your own computer. but otherwise you are able to just look at it directly on the platform. And to go back to the previous page, you click on back, and that takes you back to the previous page. And so back to the information cube. And so currently the tidbits are shared. If there is other information that you think would be useful and relevant to have accessible there, don't hesitate to mention it to team members so that they are able to add it over time as they build up the platform to make it really useful for you. What is also in the information cube are the directories. So both the resident and the team member directory. And so if I go to the resident directory, I can see all the different residents in the community. And so if you just want to scroll down, you can just scroll down and see everyone. But if you are looking for someone in particular, you can search for them either based on their name or even on their apartment number. But I'll just search for myself. So for demo resident, who's not a real resident, who doesn't do much. And by clicking on view profile, this is where I can see their information. So their contact information that they want to share, a photo, if there was one, and then under about, this is where a resident can share as much or as little about themselves as they want. So some residents choose not to share anything, this is completely up to you. And some residents share sort of maybe 5, 10 bullet points with a very brief history and maybe their interests and their hobbies nowadays, which is so that they can find residents with similar interests. And we've been told by some communities that other residents do share what can only be described as a novel that really you can scroll down and take 10 minutes to read. So there's the whole range of what you want to share, and that's completely up to you. You manage that information entirely yourself. And I will be showing you later on in the demo where you can update that. So that's the resident directories.
Excuse me.
Yes?
Did I see a room number or a telephone number? Yeah.
Yes.
It's there. Yep.
But under contact, there's the contact information, which is the phone number and the apartment number and the email address. And then under about, this is where it's sort of free text and you can share as much or as little as you want.
Thank you.
And so to go back to the previous page, there's always a back button on the top left. And this takes me back to the information cube, where I can also access the team member directory if I want, which looks very similar. And I can search for team members if I want to. And again, you can see, you can click on there and to get their information.
Who's that?
A lovely and friendly team member. And so that's the information cube, and the information that is shared. So where there are the tidbits, there will be more tabs as time goes on and team members get to know what residents want and like having access to in terms of documents or information. Next to the information cube, we have the very important and popular activities cube. And so this is where you can see the activity calendar. But first thing when you log in, similar to the tab with the tidbits, here you do have some tabs where team members can again share information linked to lifestyles. So here, for example, they have shared a lot of fitness videos that you can watch directly on the platform. Which makes it nice and easy for you to, if you want to sit down and do some fitness from the comfort of your own room, you have access to many videos. And there are also some virtual activity suggestions if you want to visit some museums or learn some languages or see some Broadway musicals. there are a few links here to take you to that kind of information. But most important is here at the top, the blue button that says View Activities. This is where you can see the activity calendar. So if I click on View Activities, I can see all the activities that are going on in the community today. And I can choose to sign up to one as well if I want to. So here, if I want to attend billiards later today, I can click on it. And the advantage when you click on an activity is that you can see all of the activity details. And so here, for example, I can see that there are 8 spots maximum. And I can, if I sign up, I'll actually be able to see who else is attending as well. And if it's a recurring activity, I can choose to only sign up to one or to all of the activities. And so if I click on only this one, sign me up, I can see that I'm signed up, and I would also be able to see anyone else who'd signed up if I wanted to join a friend or avoid someone I don't want to see. And now I know that there are, especially for virtual activities or anything like that, or many activities, at least in normal times where you don't need to sign up, one would think that it's not particularly relevant to sign up. But the advantage of signing up is that you'll get notifications if there are any changes to that activity. So if it's cancelled, or if it changes location, if it was, I don't know, planned outside and it moves indoors, or vice versa, all of that, you would get a notification informing you of the changes to that activity. And so if you do want to go to the following days to sign up for something in the future, you can do that as well. So I could I'll sign up to tomorrow's training session because I think I'll definitely be there. And so I can sign up, and I'm signed up to that activity. And so you use the arrows to switch to the following days. You can also search if you know exactly what activity you're searching for. I could just type search and search for yoga. I'm hoping there's yoga. And this shows me all the upcoming yoga activities if I want to sign up to a specific one. And you can also choose to see a week or a month view of the activities if you prefer. Go back to the day view. And you can switch to see the other calendars if you have a loved one in another level of living and you just want to know what's happening for them. You can look at those calendars as well. Now, if I go back to the activities cube, next to view activities, there is your activities. And the purpose of your activities is so that you are able to see all the activities you've signed up for. If you want to double check or make sure that you have signed up, or if you do want to unsubscribe from something, this is where you would go. So I can see that, yes, I did go to balance class this morning with Melanie, and then I've got billiards and the Cubigo training session coming up today and tomorrow. And I can also, if I want to look back, I can see what I did last week as well, and so on and so forth. So there really is the difference: view activities to see the calendars, and your activities to see what you have signed up for. And if I go to the home page, every activity that I have that day will appear on the home page. And so if it is a virtual activity, I can actually click on it and it will take me directly to that activity. And so if there was a Zoom link or something like that, I could click directly on the Zoom link and join the activity. And so that is the activities cube. Next to the activities cube is the committees cube. So this is where all the different information about the resident committees will be made available, and where all the meeting minutes for all the different for all the different committees will be shared, and their members, and any information they want to share, so that new residents that move into the community, or other residents who are already in the community but want to get involved in one way or another, know who to reach out to, and can sort of keep track of all the important work that the different committees are doing on their behalf. And so that will be updated as more committees send, as Sandy gets all the information from the different committees in there. And next to the committees cube, we have the very important suggestions cube. So this is where you are able to send in suggestions or feedback to the team members, similar to comment cards that are already usually available in the community. Do be aware that these aren't anonymous. They are linked to you and your profile. So team members will be able to see who sent in the feedback. And on a corporate level, they do want me to remind you that this isn't the compliance hotline, and the number for the compliance hotline is available directly there if you want it. This really is just more feedback about lifestyles programming, or about the dining menus or buildings and grounds. And so to make a suggestion, you just click on Make Suggestion. You choose the type of suggestion. So we'll just do a dining comment, so that no one in the team get good feedback, and you can give your thoughts and feedback on the meal. And it can be anything from, why do they give that kind of feedback, saying do include the date, time, and location. It is just more useful to them if you felt that something was bland, or on the other hand, much too much salt in the soup. It's very useful for them to know, what time you ate and where you ate, because they would then know which batch it was and all of that kind of information. Let's say, I don't know. I want to keep all the team members on my good side, so I'm gonna send in a very positive comment, and I'll send submit. And so that just sends my my comment in.
Question?
Yes.
Does it take the place of the comment card?
No, so both are still there. So it's up to you. You can submit it in this way if you want, or you can write it on a comment card. Both will still be available in the community, so it's whichever one you prefer. I guess what could be seen as an advantage in some cases and a disadvantage in others is that here you aren't able to make it anonymous. I presume in the comment cards you could just send in the comment. Here it is linked to your profile, so team members will know who had sent it in. And so if I go back to the suggestions cube, I can actually click on your suggestions, which, similar to your activities, which showed me all the activities that I had signed up to, your suggestions shows me all the suggestions I've sent in. So you can see that I've been a busy bee, and team members will be looking at them, but similar to any other tool, they're not behind their computer 24/7, and they do have other priorities. So when they respond to it, it will both change status, and so it would be sort of confirmed or closed or something like that, and team members can respond to you if they want. And so, but if I want to double check what I sent in, I can click on that and it shows me what I sent in. And I can always cancel it if I want them to ignore what I just sent. And so next to the suggestions cube, we have the dining cube. And so if I click on dining, this is where you can see the menu for the day. and everything. And you can use the arrows to go from day to day and see what will be available in the following days as well. Or if you want to remember what you had the previous day, you can go back as well to see what was served. And in the future, there will be the option to order your meals for delivery. But for now, it really is just so that you can see the menus.
I have a question.
I have one question, Antoinette.
Yes.
How many days in advance could I look at the menu?
So it'll always be, I think we upload it on a Wednesday for the following week.
1 week
For a week. Thank you.
right now.
But so sort of for today, you can see it until Saturday, but then sort of next week's menu isn't necessarily on there yet. But at least 2-3 days in advance, you can always see what's coming up. And so there are additional cubes below that we won't go into yet. We'll look at those next week. And it will be quite repetitive because it's always how to submit a request. So you are able, do feel free if you do want to go into those cubes now, well, after the session, sort of before the training sessions next week, to see what you can do in there. But obviously don't submit a maintenance request or a housekeeping request if it's not a real need, because that won't be very useful. But if you do, need a light bulb changed, you can always try to do it through the maintenance cube if you want.
How do we get the app in the first place to get on it?
We'll go through that, Cece. Yeah.
And so I'll just do a final few things at the top, and then I'll go through the sort of nuts and bolts of how to download the app and all that kind of information. Here at the top, you have the news feed. So this is where team members can share information, they can share updates, they can do anything they want. So here, for example, they've shared all the fitness videos that we saw in the activities cube are available here as well. And also they've posted the guided meditation. And so the news feed is chronological. So when I go to the top, that's the most recent item that was posted. And I can always see the title, when it was posted, and then any information that team members want to share. And they can also add documents. So I can click on this, for example, and actually see the document as well. And again, I can download it if I want from the top, or just look at it directly on the platform. And you are also able to comment on news items if team members give you that option. So comments are public, which does mean that they are visible to all other users, just for your information. But I don't know. It was a very funny joke. Your comments would obviously be a lot more interesting than mine, but you can post a comment if needed, or if you want to. But as I did say, they are public. So both all other residents would be able to see it, obviously the ones using the platform, and team members are able to see it as well. And so that's the news feed. And so as this really becomes a more used tool in the community, there will be more frequent news items posted, but you do get notifications for these. So when you download the application, so Cubigo is available both just on a web browser, so you can use it on Safari or on Chrome or Firefox, but it's also, you can also download it either as an app onto your computer or onto your tablet or onto your smartphone. And when you do download it, you get the question, do you allow notifications? And those notifications are similar to the pop-up notifications you get when you get a new text, or if you have a new email coming in. It's just a little rectangle that pops up onto the screen of your device, informing you that a new article has been posted, or that you've received a new chat message or something like that, or that your activity has changed location, and so you know that your activity has moved. And so that is the newsfeed. And next to the newsfeed, you have the chats. So the chats allow you to either continue a conversation that you had with someone that you already started, and so all your previous chats appear at the bottom, or you can also start a new chat by clicking on New Chat. Now, you can only start a conversation with another user that has activated their account. By activated their account, we mean that it's someone who has already sort of logged into the platform at least once. That doesn't mean that they're online at that time, but it does mean that they've logged into the platform at least once, and so are, at least in theory, using the platform on a semi-regular basis. And so you aren't able to send a message to someone who isn't using the platform, so that you don't, send a lovely invitation that they never respond to, which wouldn't be very productive. And so when you do want to start a new chat, you just click on New Chat, search for the person that you want. You can either search based on first name or an apartment number. And I won't start another conversation with someone, but you can see that not all residents are visible currently on this list, because it's a much bigger community than the number of names that have appeared. And that is because not all residents have already activated their account. So if I wanted to carry on my conversation with Sandy, I can just send her a message. Now, it's only text. So you can't call, you can't sort of start a video chat or a phone call through here. It really is only a text-based chat. And as a resident, you can start a one-on-one chat. And if you did want to have a group chat, be it with residents of a committee or with a group that, I don't know, a shared interest group or the choir, or it could be all the residents of one building or another, that has to be started by a team member. So you could reach out probably to Sandy, so that she can create that group chat for you. But do be aware, if all the residents haven't already activated their account, those that aren't on Cubigo won't be able to join that chat, at least when you start it off. So that's the chats. And then next to the chats, you have notifications. So currently I don't have any, but under notifications, that would be where I would see if I had any, if any of the activities that I'd signed up to had changed, or if something had been cancelled, or if I'd received a response to one of my comments. That would really be where I would see that information. And then finally, next to notifications, I have my name. So this demo user is called demo or demo. And so if you click on your name or on your initials, and your initials are replaced by your photo, if your photo is in there, you access your personal menu. And so in this personal menu, this is where you can edit your profile. So if I click on profile, this is where I can update all of my information. So anything with a pencil next to it, and the pencil is something that I can edit. So if I wanted to change my password, I would do it in here, for example. Or if I wanted to update my email because I changed email address, this is where I would go as well. So that's under account. Under account, it really is general information about your your Cubigo account. And then under personal, this is where you can edit information that is visible to the other users. So your phone numbers, which is what was visible in the directory, or your birth date. I'll just put it today so that you can see what it looks like on the homepage. And the default in the community is that we will share someone's birthday without their age. So people will just know to wish you a happy birthday on the 25th of August, and they don't know exactly when you're born. But if you do want to change that setting, you can choose to not share your birthday at all, or to share your birthday with your age. But the default is just that people will hopefully wish you a happy birthday. And then, so that was the general information about yourself, what appears in the contact information in the directory. And then here we have the biography section. And you really can ignore all of this beginning bit, which is private and currently only visible to you. And then there is the more about me section that's public. This is what is visible in the directories. So where you can share absolutely nothing, or your whole life story if you want. So I don't know, I could say, hence the accent. My favorite food is chocolate. And always, if you do change anything, do remember to save it. Otherwise, you can have typed as much, a full page of information. If you don't save it, it won't appear. And so this would then be visible in the directory as well. And these are the only elements of the profile that are particularly relevant now, because the absences aren't being used by the communities yet, nor are the preferences. And so when those additional elements become active and become used by team members, you will be informed and trained on how to use them. But currently they're not relevant, and so I won't take the time to go through them. So when you click on your name, you do have your personal menu that appears. And so under your profile, you do have what we call the schedule. And so when you click on that, it takes you to the same thing that you would see if here at the bottom, I clicked on next days. It's the same thing. And it really just shows me everything that I have coming up in the next week. And it will include any birthdays or any activities I've signed up for, any table reservations, all of that. And just so you can see what it looks like, when it is someone's birthday, it looks like this. It just gives the name and says happy birthday. So you can see it really doesn't share any more information than that, except if you do change it and choose to share your age. Otherwise, this is all that people will see. Back in the personal menu, I'm going to spend a lot of time in the personal menu. At the very bottom, you have log out. Now this, if you're using Cubigo on your Las Ventanas Connect, if you're using it on your personal device, so on your own phone, on your computer, on your tablet, there really is no need to log out. It's like using your email. You don't log out of your email every time you sort of have finished sending your emails. But if you do use Cubigo on a public device or on a shared device, if you, I don't know, use it in the library or something like that, do remember to log out at the end of your session so that no other resident can access, or no other individual for that matter, can access both your profile or the community information. Cubigo is a closed platform, so to be added to the platform, a team member has to physically add a new user. So a random person with the right link can't just access Las Ventanas Connect. They really have to be, with their email address, added to the platform. So there are team members on there, residents on there, and family members have limited access to the platform. So they can see the activity calendars and that kind of thing, but they aren't able to see the directories, for example. But it is very limited, and all family members are added directly by team members. So team members can really see exactly who's using the platform and who has access to it. The final thing I have to show you in the personal menu is a very important button called Help. Now, this doesn't call 911 or anything like that, but it is to help you on the platform. So when I click Help, my sharing settings are wrong, I think. Yes. Yes. It takes you straight to this beautiful page, which is the Cubigo Help Center, which is where you really can see step by step all the different things that you would want to do on the platform. So if you can't remember how to start a chat, for example, I would just type in chat and I can do how do I chat? Great. And it really shows me where to click and if there is a difference between the desktop or the web version and the tablet version. It shows you exactly where to go and everything that you can do to start a chat or start a conversation with someone. And so that's by clicking on the Help button. And that really is everything I really wanted to share. So I will be opening the floor up to any questions that you may have. So was anything not clear? Any questions, or should I go through how you access the platform?
Couple questions, Antoinette.
My question is, is it possible to have Cubigo on your smartphone and your computer and your tablet?
Absolutely.
All three?
You can have it, so it works on all devices. So we have an app for smartphones and tablets, both iOS, so those are the iPad and iPhone, and for Android, which is all other brands. And you can also download a desktop application onto your computer, or you can just use it on a web browser. And you can use it on multiple devices at the same time. Some residents choose to only use it on one, and then it's usually either the iPad or the computer, just because it is bigger and it's easier to see and manipulate. But other residents choose to have it on all of their devices. And so if you sign up for an activity on your tablet, it will appear on your computer and on your phone as well. And all of them communicate and sync continuously. So you can use it on just one or on all your devices, however you want.
I have a question. Yesterday I signed on the computer.
Mm-hmm.
Evidently I typed a number wrong because I can't get in. It says an error. So how do I start over? I don't have anything but just the comment that said to log in. And where I'm.
So to log in, now that you've sort of initially accessed it, when you go to cubigo.com and click on the login button, or if you've downloaded onto your computer, onto your device, just by opening the app, there is always a forgot password button. And so that allows you to, you just need to put your email address in, and it will send you a link to reset your password. Now that link, depending on your browser, not on your browser, on your email, can end up in your spam folder because it's from a corporation, and so depending on your filter, it can end up there.
We can help you with it.
Thank you.
We'll help you with it.
I think we have some residents who aren't going to want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Some are resistant to wearing masks, for instance. We have some people that don't like to follow along with everyone else. Will they still be able to make reservations through the concierge for different activities?
Yes.
Or dining or?
absolutely. This is an additional tool that's available to those of you that do enjoy technology or want to try it, want to use it and try it out. But the idea isn't obviously to alienate residents that like pen and paper. I mean, I work for a tech company and I still have a paper diary. So I'm not even a full convert. So there will still be the ability to have all the paper sign-ups and to still call the front desk or the concierge to sign up for different activities or for table reservations and that kind of thing. So it's an additional tool available to those of you that want it, and those of you that like the current way of doing things will still, there might be a few changes to it to fit into the Cubigo system, but you will still absolutely be able to talk to a team member or call a team member to get access to all the information.
And the concierge will have the knowledge, even from a sign up, to add you in to the activity as well. And we're looking to get a kiosk as soon as they are available and we're able to do it. We'll be getting a kiosk, which will be nice and easy to have at the concierge desk up front. For those that don't have a device, you don't even have to log in. You'll be able to access the Cube and sign up for a reservation or an activity and do that right then and there from the kiosk. So that'll be nice.
Antoinette, I received my invitation and my email address has been assigned to another resident. And this came from an error on a resident list here.
Okay.
Which I have now corrected. However, how can I get my email address back to me?
I can change it. Yeah.
Or I mean, it would need a little bit of playing around, but that can be arranged, no problem. If I just get the name of the resident you were switched with, so I'll talk to Sandy afterwards and we'll have that fixed by the end of the day, no problem.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Question.
When does this start? When you set it for? As we speak?
Yeah. My question was just, when can we start? This was the introduction, like a training session. We will have small group trainings to work with you individually to make sure you get logged onto the platform. So it's just kind of starting now. Our digital signs, which the touchdown screens you see throughout the community, those will continue to go up until early October. End of September, early October is when we'll change over. And it will look somewhat similar to what you're used to seeing on Touchdown, the in-house channel you'll access in your room 1960. Yeah. Same thing, it'll advertise announcements, it'll advertise the programs, very similar to what you're seeing. Yeah. Any other questions? I know you'll have many more for us when we work in our small groups. Murray.
I may have missed it, but how do you get this on each of the devices? How do you get the program onto each of these devices?
Okay, so if you're using an iPad or an iPhone, it's in the App Store. And you just search for Cubigo, and it's called Cubigo Community. That's what it's called in all of them. So for an iPad or an iPhone, it's in the App Store. If you're using an Android tablet or an Android phone, so that's anything that's not Apple, that would be in the Google Play Store, which is also where you find all of your applications. And again, you would just search for Cubigo and download it. To download it onto your computer, so that would be any tablet or any desktop computer, you go to cubigo.com/download. But there will be a post on the newsfeed with all the different ways of accessing it. So to make it easier for all of you, because it's a lot of notes to take. So cubigo.com/download, and there'll just be a big download button because it detects the type of computer you're on and allows you to download it. Now, for some residents, unfortunately, it is possible that your operating system, if you're using sort of a slightly older operating system on your computer, that it won't be compatible with Cubigo. In that case, you are able to just use it on your web browser. So we work on all web browsers except for Internet Explorer. So you can use it on Edge or on Chrome or on Firefox or on Safari. And in that case, you just go to cubigo.com, and then there's a login button on the top right where you just put in your email address and your password, and it will take you straight to Las Ventanas Connect. But there will be a post after tomorrow's training session, the idea being not to confuse too many residents before the final training session, which will really have, I see some of you have paper sheets, but there will be all the sort of step-by-step sheets for the different types of devices and the links that will be directly there.
And then the three of us will be available. That's why we have the sign-up sheet for the one-on-one trainings. So if that seemed overwhelming to you, you just make an appointment with us and we'll sit down and walk you through all of that.
All right. Any last questions?
Where is that sign-up sheet?
Right over here.
Oh,
We'll get that.
okay.
All right, Antoinette, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
We will see you same time, same place tomorrow.
Absolutely. Have a lovely afternoon. Hope it's not too hot.
Bye.
Bye.